Yes, welcome in one and all. We've made it. We've made it to the big game, the showcase game, Allegiant Stadium, Super Bowl 58, Kansas City Chiefs against the San Francisco 49ers. A repeat of Super Bowl a couple of years ago when we all remember Jimmy Garoppolo overthrowing deep in the fourth quarter. What a joy to behold. Will Brock Purdy suffered the same fate as my dogs start to go mental, which always helps. I knew I shouldn't have done it in a new position, but there we go. Never mind. But yeah, we've made it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be going through the whole showcase of the Super Bowl, from the coin toss to the National Anthem to the Gatorade Colour to the halftime shows. Absolutely everything covered here at the full 10 yards. And as they have been all season, to run it all through, Adam Wolford, good evening to you, sir. Speaking to you obviously beforehand, before we pressed the record button, that we weren't really looking forward too much to this one. I know Liam's going to have a different opinion because obviously his team's in the Super Bowl, but it would be hard to get up for this one.
Yeah, like we said, I think because it's a repeat of 4 years ago, it's just a kind of bleh Super Bowl, and it's a weird one for me personally because I love Mahomes. I like seeing him do as well as he is doing, and I think that he will be the best there has been, and he needs to win to catch up with Brady. But I think it is just because it's a repeat of a few years back. The Chiefs haven't exactly been inspiring this year, as in terms of entertainment. They've obviously got the job done. They're kind of entering Patriots dynasty territory where they can ease through the regular season and then get it together in the playoffs, which seems to be what they've done this year. And the 49ers, I do like the 49ers, but obviously I've had a fairly strong opinion on Purdy all year. That he's he's not quite good enough to take a team all the way. So I may have to eat my words on that one after this weekend, which I will do. That's fine. I had an opinion on him, and I think the jury's still out for me entirely. He's done better than I thought, but yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be a fun one once it gets going, and I'm getting there with it. Obviously, all the novelty pops, all the player props that are coming out now. I'll be getting into it over the next few days, and I'm sure I'll get up for it by the time the game comes around.
Yeah, I mean, I did a preview where we did our little snippets for the main podcast, and I went 28-27 to the Kansas City Chiefs, but then I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, I don't like for the whole of the playoffs. I don't know, because obviously touchdown scores. Obviously you've got Kelsey and Pacheco and whatever. But I was like, how Kansas City Chiefs getting to 28 points? But somehow this season, Liam, they just get the job done, and it doesn't really matter how or where or how many points or whatnot. They just win.
Yeah, for like a 28-point prediction, you just need those red zone errors basically just to stop, because they get into the red zone enough to score 28 plus points, isn't it? It's just stop making those silly mistakes. But yeah, like you said, they kind of just been able to get it done. I've been listening to loads of pods this week, betting pods, and there's two views, isn't there? It's like the Ravens completely lost the game, and second half Chiefs offense was terrible, or the other side is obviously they just tried to sit on the ball because they knew they had a lead. So yeah, if you want 28 points, you need Chiefs to play a lot better in the second half. But yeah, I think I prefer this game to Chiefs Lions, even as a Chiefs fan. I think for the neutral, I know people love the Lions, but I do think this is a bit historic with 49ers franchise, all the stars they've got. They've got so many good players, haven't they, the 49ers? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm biased. But most of my friends do want the 49ers to win, and I think they're a pretty cool story just because they've got that quarterback that was picked last, and then they've got 10 incredible players. So yeah, I think it's a good Super Bowl. I'm biased, but yeah, I think it'll be good. I think the game will be entertaining as well, because I do think both teams on offense can either make terrible mistakes or have incredible games, and both defenses can either give up loads of rushing yards or cause loads of interceptions. So I do think it could be quite a volatile game if you're the neutral sat at home watching this at the weekend.
Yeah, I do think there are a lot of various outcomes or range of outcomes from a 13-10 game to a 32-35 type of game, and obviously we're all hoping for the latter. But yeah, I think so. It was put the best way I can put it, or the way that I read is that kind of the brightest star of them all against a galaxy of stars is kind of a decent way of a decent analogy of doing it. But so let's have we'll start off with the main stuff before we get onto all the props later on in the show. So let's get off with the bread and butter of your betting markets. Kansas City are 2-point underdogs going into this one, 11-10 on the money line. San Francisco 49ers are the favourites, 8-11, and I'm sure someone's going to bring up stats about Patrick Mahomes against the spread and handicaps. All the rest of that probably be Liam in about 30 seconds. But your over under line line here is 47.5, 3 points up from the opening line. Liam, as your Chiefs are in it, I'll hand it to you.
Yeah, so yeah, the home stats underdog are really good, but I do think for the spread, for the bookies, I think the right spread is 3.5, to be honest, because the Chiefs in the playoffs have been a lot better than the 49ers, but you still have to price the market on the whole season. Do you know what I mean? You can't just ignore how bad weeks 6 to 14 were for the Chiefs if you're a bookmaker. But I feel like a lot of the public have just bet the Chiefs because of how good the last 3 weeks have been, really, compared to the 49ers. So yeah, in terms of the spread, I actually think it's you're lucky, really, if you're a 49ers better, because I think -2 is lucky. I think if you think they're going to win, you've got great odds there. In terms of me, when the spread's that small, I'm just picking a winner, and I obviously am going to go with the Chiefs. I've said Chiefs +2, but I wouldn't actually bet that. I would bet the money line. I don't think there's much value if they do lose by. If they do lose by a point and you could have won the bet, it's just one of those things where you're just like, right, yeah, I could have won a bet, but at the Super Bowl, you're more likely to win money on props than you are the spread anyway, historically. So for me, I would go Chiefs money line. In terms of the game, you summed it up well. They've got so many stars, the 49ers, but how are you going to grade the quarterback? Me and Adam are probably lower on Purdy, I think, than a lot of people that I listen to. But if I grade him at 15th in the league, somewhere in that range, or 10th, even if you say best case, Mahomes is 1 with a big margin from 2 for me. So I do think that makes a lot of difference in a game like this. The two teams actually play each other quite well as well. 49ers run the ball. Chiefs historically can't stop the run. 49ers aren't very good against tight ends anymore, especially in the playoffs. They're not very good against number 1 receivers. Chiefs have only got 1 receiver. So historically, both these two teams do play each other quite well. So yeah, I would pick the Chiefs. I think a lot of it for me is down to the quarterback factor on both sides. And then, head coaching experience as well. I do think makes a difference. And I think the best unit in the game is Chiefs defense for me, with Brock Purdy as quarterback. So, yeah, I'm going to pick the Chiefs. But I don't think it'd be an easy game or anything like that. And I could see if you like the 49ers, -2s, you should feel lucky, because I think they should be -3, 3.5, really, if you look at the whole season.
Yeah, interesting. I agree. If you're a Chiefs backer, well, I don't know. I mean, we've all gone Kansas City +2 for the purposes of the spread anyway. But because again, even if you lose, how often do Kansas City lose by a lot more than a field goal or more? Not very often. So, Adam, your thoughts on the game and the total? Obviously, gone up a couple of points since the opening lines.
Liam summed up pretty well, really, and both of you did. It is, as you say, it's do you take the better team, or do you take the better quarterback? And this is kind of the ultimate experience of that. I do think, unfortunately, it will be the Chiefs. As I say, I'd rather they didn't. I'd rather the 49ers win, but I do think Mahomes has got it. It will need, obviously, Kelsey and Rice to be on top of the game. They've had about 2/3 of the receiving yards over the last few weeks, every week, pretty much. So yeah, they will need to be on top of the game. But as Liam said, like we saw Laporta kill the 49ers in the middle of the field last week against a very good linebacker group. So if Laporta can do that, then Travis Kelsey can do his run 11 yards, stop and turn around and find some space, because that tends to be what he does. I mean, I think all 11 catches were in the first half 2 weeks ago, for 116 yards and a touchdown. So if he can do that in the first half, then the Chiefs can do what they've done most of the year and just keep it safe in the second half, knowing that their defense is very good now, which is what they did last week. And then when they needed a deep shot, they got MVS to seal the game for them. So I do think that the Chiefs will be able to eke it out, but conversely, it's going to be completely contradictory to myself, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers put up a load of points. But then again, the Chiefs have only allowed 27 points maximum all year. So I think it'll be very interesting. Obviously, you've got McCaffrey, 90.5 rush yards, I think, is his line. So you would imagine he's going to get 20 plus carries, and that'll be the way they go. Just run the ball down the throat. Obviously, I assume that Snead will be on Ayuk, which will be a very fun matchup. Obviously, he's more of the wide receiver 1. Debo's more of the shorter stuff and getting the ball in his hands. So it will be very interesting to see how it goes. I think, for me, interesting more than entertaining. Hopefully, it will be entertaining, but it should be a fun game for the more nerdy people out there to watch.
Well, hopefully Tony Romo does his own work and breaks down the stuff and like he used to at the start of his commentating career, rather than his laziness that seemed to have followed him over maybe the last year or so. But maybe I'm doing a disservice, maybe not. I just think for me the key to the games on either side of the ball, Kansas City Chiefs, like I mentioned in my little snippet for the main pod, I think they'll be looking at restricting the yak yardage for the 49ers, and I think they've got the secondary and the guys on defense and the obviously Spags as well with his blitz packaging, that could show up Brock Purdy and make him show his true colours as well. So you might have to get the ball out a bit quicker. And again, if they've got, I don't know, Liam, you'll know how much zone or man coverage they play, but for me, if you limit the yak yardage of Debo and Kittle and all the rest of it, I think you'll probably be able to limit San Francisco's opportunities, because it will then focus on the limelight will focus on Brock Purdy, and either way, rightly or wrongly, we don't like Brock Purdy on this pod, but we'll find out. The litmus test for him, is he any good or not? If he overcomes it and gets the ball out, and obviously wins, but it says it all when you've got Brock Purdy as Christian McCaffrey is 72 favourite for MVP, right? So I thought that was quite funny personally, but that's the key from the Kansas City side of things. Again, that's just the way I read it. So they play like the second most man in the league now, Chiefs. And you are right about the yak. They're best in the league at giving up yak, so they don't give up a lot of yak to wide receivers at all. Tight ends they do, but for receivers they don't give up yak at all. And on the other side of the ball, 49ers also give up the most rushing yards in the playoffs to running backs per carry, and Pacheco is pretty good. He's not as good as CMC, obviously, but he's good. So I think they're interested in kind of storylines for how people think the game might go. Talking of interesting, Adam, you have a few random stats for us on spreads, underdogs, and Super Bowl games and all that jazz.
Yeah, I found a nice post on covers.com. I will give them credit for this instead of just stealing it. The underdogs have covered in 12 of the last 16 games in Super Bowls, obviously. The favourites are still slightly winning overall, 28, 26 and 2 against the spread. Super Bowl winners generally cover the spread. They have done in 48 of the past 57 games, which is pretty impressive. Obviously, we'll get onto coin flips and all that kind of guff in a minute. First team to score win 37 out of 57 Super Bowls, so we'll see how that goes, really. But that's the few little nuggets that I found there.
Nuggets, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We've said on the podcast a lot over the last couple of rounds of the playoffs about we can move on to the coin toss and that now. So, we noticed obviously a couple of teams take the ball, and obviously you have your usual 10 to 11s, to land on heads, to land on tails, either team to win the toss and that kind of stuff. And, we have been saying, or we have been trying to look out for a market where you can bet on what gets called, or we're right in thinking that is it the 49ers that are calling it this year and they would go tails? Was it?
They would go tails. Yeah, if he says heads, it'd be the first time in his life Fred Warner's ever said heads. So good odds, 100% success rate. Good odds if you can find it somewhere.
Yeah, if you can find it, DM me on Twitter, please. And then I can put it out to the world and ruin another bet for everyone, because apparently I've just done that today. So we'll see on that one. But it's basically free money. Like I know that we got on the National Anthem last week, which was up at a ridiculous time, and now I think we'll move on to that in a minute. But
we'll do it now. National Anthem this year is being sung by I can't find it. Link for National Anthem. Reba McEntire, yeah. And the current line is around 1 minute 30, 1 minute 31. But as you say, you boys kind of got on when it first. I don't really understand why Sky Bet went straight up. Was it with a minute 2 seconds? That was just, even the prices were a bit weird. Someone probably got fired over there for that. But
it was evens for over as well, which they never do. So someone's going to be in trouble for that one. We did actually say about it as well, I think, on the pod last Thursday. So if anyone listened, did get on it, because we said that seemed shockingly low, and then we'll investigate afterwards, and it was shockingly low. So if anyone got on it, fair play. They stripped it off the board by like Friday afternoon, I think, didn't they? So
Yeah. 1 minute 30 now, obviously, and Liam, you did some research where 1 minute 30 is kind of the most she's ever done, which was a Dallas Thanksgiving game a couple of years ago, I think you said.
In the 80s. She's quite old, this woman. So
I have no idea.
Yeah, in the 80s. Yeah. I watched. I watched 4 originally when I texted you guys, but I've watched 6 now. Which is a great way to spend your lunch break, is watching an older lady sing the anthem 6 times. So I know all the words.
The people in I don't know if you work from home, but if you would do that in the office and you're in your lunch break, and then just throughout the whole week, just random members of your colleagues just walking past you watching the American anthem.
Yeah, I can confirm that I was at home doing this, because I think 5 of the 6 were at the rodeo as well. So there's just horses parading behind her, which was quite funny. But yeah, so she sang it between 1 minute 20 and 1 minute 30. 6 out of 6 times that there is on YouTube. Again, this is a Super Bowl, so she could long it out. It's obviously a big moment. She is a little bit older as well, so I saw an interview where she said this is like the most prestigious moment of her career. So yeah, maybe she tries to long it out, and it's not one I'm going to bet now, I don't think, because we've got on it at such good odds. But if I had to pick a side now, it would be under, just from the history that I've seen. But yeah, I'm just not going to bet it when I've got. Well, I say I'm not going to bet it. I might try and middle it. But at the moment, Adam's convincing me to not bet it and just take my winning bet that I've got currently.
Take the money. Don't try and be hard enough to take money from the bookies, especially when we're crushing markets. But there are a couple of nuances on Sky Bet in terms of players and coaches to be shown first. You have Patrick Mahomes to be shown before Brock Purdy, 8-15. 11-8 for Brock Purdy to be shown before Patrick Mahomes, and then in the coaches, Andy Reid is 4-7 to be shown before Kyle Shanahan, 5-4 for Kyle Shanahan before Andy Reid. I do like the Chiefs side of things. I'm surprised they haven't got any Taylor Swift to be shown before every other fucker in the stadium.
Do you think? Do you think those? Am I stupid in thinking that Mahomes one is like good? I know it's 8-15, so it's low.
Oh, that's a lock. It's an absolute lock.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, my friend who's very into gambling does it for a job. He's max bet it, but you can only get like $85 on it in the States on DraftKings.
Yeah. Because Mahomes is the face of the NFL.
A lot more, but yeah, I was going to ask you guys as well if you think that was a lock, because 8-15, I thought it should be way shorter than that.
Yeah,
Adam's not sure.
I can get 468 quid on there, apparently. I'm not going to, obviously. But I was just, after you were saying your mate's max bet, I was just intrigued to see what mine would be. Obviously,
mine, by the way, that's the same as my max stake.
I mean, I believe the Chiefs won it last year as well, didn't they? So he is the reigning champion as well, which obviously makes you think. I do know in Australia, because I'm in an Aussie group as well, they do have Taylor Swift to be shown before or after Travis Kelce's first reception, but it's only after the game starts, because obviously she will be shown pre-game. I'm
surprised there's no bookies out there with over/under total amount of times Taylor Swift gets shown on telly, but my game
there is
adjudication of it.
There is in the
States,
yeah. Not over here.
But if you have like Sky Bet or like bookies over here, like we have a different feed, won't we? So it's just like, well, because it should be on cutaways to the breaks and stuff, but
Sky Bet are the only ones who ever really do. So Sky Bet are the only ones who really do these fun ones, and then obviously I still remember the good old days of commentator bingo from a few years back. That was my favourite market that they ever did, and they only did that for 1 year. But yeah, we're kind of relying on them to put up these stupid bets, given the fact that we can't. Well, it'd be DraftKings and FanDuel, I guess. Otherwise,
to be fair, I don't know. Did Paddy Power got their first person thanked when on Super Bowl, like God and the coach?
Yeah, they have.
Oh, they still got that.
Yeah.
So Paddy Power does also have. Will Taylor Swift be mentioned in the Super Bowl MVP's speech? Will the winning coach mention Taylor Swift in his speech? So I know we said Sky Bet is the one for all the crazy ones, but actually there are some random. If you're into these,
Paddy Power, it wouldn't be. I don't know what the prices are, but if it's like 100 to 1 or something, like stick a nugget on it, because sometimes Paddy Power pay out just stupidly, because like, oh, I don't know. I recall they just do some stupid money payouts because they just feel like it. So that feels like that'd be the kind of market of they just pay out because they've got 2 people on it with a quid on it or something. But,
well, you can bet the no as well. So If you want to, you can bet the no on all those. I know they're like, the odds are absolutely awful, but if you're like Patrick Mahomes is clearly not, or Brock Purdy is clearly not going to say Taylor Swift in their speech, I think the odds are like 1 to 15 on. But I check Paddy Power as well for random ones about like first person shown nearer to the game as well.
Yeah,
and I mean, will Taylor Swift wear a Kristen Juszczyk custom design?
Yes,
well, that's someone on the opposite team. So 1 to 5 for no seems pretty good. There's the kind
she's
of
worn it every
random
game
stuff
though.
that there is. Oh,
she's won it every game though. Yeah, every playoff game she's won Kristen Juszczyk item. That's why that's on there.
Right, that's why it's on there. So 11 to 4 for yes.
Yeah, I bet the yes.
Well, obviously I shouldn't tell the world that because I'm spoiling it for everyone else. But it's
this conversation is going way over my head. I have no idea what we're talking about. So we'll move swiftly on. We'll do a bit of some kickoffs. Then we've got some kickoff touchback stats. Obviously, it's in the Allegiant Stadium. First time it's obviously been in there. There's obviously not as many. It's a smaller sample size. Obviously, they've only been in that stadium very, very, very recently. But obviously, Butker and Moody do have a bit of leg on them and do have quite high percentage touchback percentages. So I'm assuming, fellas, that we don't like the 9 to 4 on yes for a return.
The way around. Yeah. Touchback no is 9 to 4, which obviously, as you said, does mean that they'll return it. I don't think they will. History says that they should have done, but since McAfee brought it up a few years back, obviously, I think they get the ball a little bit more game ready now rather than just having a rock hard ball to start the game. Now they've just become a little bit more popular. I did see that Sporting Life obviously have their kind of recommended bet on Sky Bet, and it is touchback no at 9 to 4. Yeah, I don't agree with that. The last 2 years have been no touchback. It is 26 out of 30 over the last 30 years, if you wanted to go that way. But I think personally that all these kind of historic bets, they're a little skewed by the Patriots being there so many times. And I think things are a little bit different now. Obviously, with the touchback now starting at the 25-yard line as well, it's a little less incentive to try and run the ball out. So yeah, for me, it's touchback, yes. Which is down at 4 to 11, something like that. It's not worth betting in my opinion, but that's the side I'm definitely leaning on that one. Obviously, the Chiefs maybe have a slight advantage in the fact that they've been to this stadium a couple of times. I don't know whether they get the home or road dressing room, even though they are the home team, whether they get the choice, because you'd think that they'd probably go for the road one, given the fact, as I say, they've been there a few times. This is apparently the highest altitude Super Bowl that there has been. Obviously, it's inside, but the pressure's still going to be less than it would be at ground level. So maybe the ball travels further, which means even more likely to be touchback. So yeah, for me, touchback on that one.
Anything for you, Liam? Obviously, the only thing I can think of is they're trying to preserve Devin Hester's highlights for the next 100 years.
Yeah, true. I watched that highlight this week as well because it was the anniversary, wasn't it, on Wednesday and on Tuesday, sorry, and I saw that about a million times on my Twitter feed. I'm same as Adam that I think it will be a touchback. I agree that the Patriots skewed it a little bit, but also the kickoff rules are just completely different now. So it's not just the 25; it's the rules on hitting players as well. It's the fact you can fair catch now as well at the 2-3, which counts as a touchback.
Okay.
So for me, I just think there's more likely to be a touchback than not. In terms of stats, Harrison Butker has only had one kickoff in the dome this season that hasn't gone for a touchback. And that was in a game where the Chiefs were coming back from behind. So they were trying to just force a turnover by making someone bring it out, basically. And I couldn't find the same for Moody. But in true nerd fashion, I went back and watched all the games where he did the first kickoff. And only 2 were returned out of all the games. So it feels like odds are that it will be a touchback and that they're not going to bring it out. So
I don't know, fellas. I'm telling you, 9 to 4. Someone wants to be a star. Someone wants to be Devin Hester 2.0. But anyway, we'll move on. Let's see, we got here Gatorade Colour. Anyone got any stats? For some reason, I really liked blue. I don't know why, but what did the Chiefs have when they won in Tampa against? Was it when they won in Tampa against 49ers?
Miami, they had orange.
Miami, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and last year they had purple. So it's no shock that I think you should bet purple or orange at 7 to 2 because you'll make a profit if you think the Chiefs are going to win. If you think the 49ers are going to win, I still think orange is a good shout. But yeah, there's obviously the red. That's why red's favourite, I think, because 49ers are the favourites to win the game. So yeah, I just would never waste your money on clear and stuff. That'd be people always end up betting clear because they think, oh my god, the odds are incredible, but it's never been clear. So yeah, I'd say purple or orange if you think the Chiefs are going to win, and if you do think the 49ers are going to win, I would go red. I think it's the rightful favourite.
Hopefully we've cleared that up.
If you are doing that, well done, Tim. If you are doing that, go on Paddy Power. You've got red/pink at 5-1, purple at 7-2, orange at 3-1. So better odds than, pretty much better odds than you can get on Sky Bet for that one. Unibet had purple as favourite as well. I noticed earlier, so there's a little bit of discrepancy depending where you look. If you do want to bet on Gatorade Showers, weirdly enough, out of all the stupid stuff I bet on, that's one that I don't. Don't know really. Don't really know why. Probably because I have too much on already.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Are there any other halftime show, fellas? I nearly forgot about the halftime show. Yeah, it's going to be the fabulous Usher. I was going to say fabulous Usher, but I don't really like Usher, so I don't really care. Yeah, obviously, betting has literally come down half an hour before we hit record on here. Where I don't know how careful we want to tread on this podcast with what we say now, but I don't know, who cares. Yeah, obviously the only really tracks that I know is and Oh My God and Without You and all that kind of stuff. But does any Usher fans want to stand up?
I don't mind Usher. I said at the end of last week. Yeah, I said at the end of last week I had an 8701 when that was out 20 odd years ago. It was his first album. Yeah, you can still get Paddy Power's still offering Last Song, which I think we all kind of came to the conclusion it should be and that's evens. You could have got, before it all came down, you could have got 1-3 on Lil Jon or Ludacris, I think it was, being a guest there. He's been in the advert, or Lil Jon and Ludacris have both been in the adverts this week for the Super Bowl, and they're both involved in Lil Jon just shouts on it, so I'm pretty sure I mentioned last week on the pod that Lil Jon would be there and he was decent odds. So a little bit miffed I didn't get on that one, but I was waiting for a leak. It just turns out I was a little bit too late. Yeah, the first song betting has disappeared from everywhere because there was news today which I may have broadcast and I may have got moaned at by a couple of people for broadcasting it to all of my 3,700 odd followers. But I got my 20 quid on, so yeah.
Yeah, and the odd bit of research that I did do this with his, I think his stint there, he has a residency, and all of his tours, seems to be the last song on quite a few of those as well. So yeah, that seems to be the last song.
Even money on Paddy Power for you can still get that. It is still available
on Paddy Power. On Paddy Power, by the way, you can bet. I'll get your views. Will Usher be wearing sunglasses during his first song? Yes is 4-11, which is short, and no is 2-1. It feels like 2-1 is a good bet if you don't think he's going to wear sunglasses. And then you can also bet on how many outfits he will wear. The line is 1.5 if you think he's going to go under or over on the outfits. I don't know what your views are on any of those.
So basically one change, that's it.
Yeah,
outfit change is a woman thing, isn't it? I'd go under probably.
Yeah, under is evens.
I mean, it depends. If he takes his jacket off,
his sunglasses off count as a change.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he takes his leather jacket off, or I don't know, kicks his shoe into the crowd, does that count as a?
I don't know. We'd have to risk it and see if
it's not a change, really, is it? Because it's the same outfit. I don't know. But that's I'd probably go under because that's a woman thing to do changes, and because they want to wear all these fashion designers and all this kind of crap, don't they? Whereas guys just like, fuck it, let's just do this and.
You can also
hey, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know Usher. I don't know him personally, so he might be on the other line of thinking. We'll see. But
he'll probably be wearing jeans, so you don't get changed out of jeans, do you?
No, or leather trousers. It's another favourite of Usher's. 8.5
for the record,
go on.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say he does seem to be wearing sunglasses in all the promo stuff, so that's probably why he's 11-4 on it.
Yeah, 8.5 songs, by the way, is the under-over. It was 7.5 as of last week, so I don't know why it's changed, but 8.5's a lot for a Super Bowl. Normally, like 9 songs is a lot historically, but I'm not going to bet it because I just don't want to risk the Lil Jon, Ludacris, Usher, Alicia Keys medley that could be 5 songs in 30 seconds. So yeah.
Isn't the stipulation though for that one that the song has to be at least 10 seconds long?
Doesn't say on there, but it'll be on their teaser season.
Sky Bet was.
I thought Sky Bet had.
Yeah, this is Paddy Power. Sorry.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Right.
But yeah, will Usher debut a new song? Yes is 5 to 6. Evens is no. I'd say no on that. Like they normally just go through a kind of a medley of all the hits. It's not a chance to release new stuff. So
it's because he released an album on Monday. That's why.
Ah, okay.
That's why they've done that. But I would go with you. I think no is a good shout at Evens there. But yeah.
Yeah, because no one wants to hear something that they've never heard before. It's meant to be getting everyone amped up for the second half and keeping them busy.
Yes, indeed. Righto. Are there any other bets or anything you guys want to mention before we get to £100 challenge?
No, I will mention obviously as I said. I think a lot of the trends have.
Yes, then.
Yeah. There has been a lot of trends that I think are not dead, but on the way out, like slow starting games. Again, I think that's largely a Brady thing. Longest field goal or shortest touchdown being under. That's one that probably is still valid. Under 1.5 is generally where you want to go on that. I was trying to think of a few more. Punts with it being. Again, at altitude is maybe go for longest punt over if you want something a little bit more left field. And longest field goal, I can never remember which way I want to lean on that one. But I know that last year a lot of the kind of tried and tested all failed. So for me, I'm kind of out on most of them now. And it'll be more of a viewing mantra for me, this one.
Yeah. The only other market I was going to mention that I haven't got is Sky are offering catch a pass on their team's first drive.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Now,
Paddy normally do them.
Now, again, the Chiefs' offense could be 3 and out, right? I did that a lot in the middle of the season, but most of their drives are long. So you're going to get a lot of chances for whichever player you back, if it's a Chiefs player, to catch a pass. If it's the 49ers, I'd be a bit worried because I think the first drive they're going to run it non-stop. So I'd be a little bit worried. But if you think the Chiefs are going to score points, it's a good way to bet it because I think Pacheco's 2-1 catches dump offs all the time. All the wide receivers outside of Rice are like 4-1 plus because they're not very good, but you only need them to catch one pass. And Travis Kelce's 4-7. And like, if it's not 3 and out, you know Travis Kelce's catching the pass on the first drive. So you're basically betting, are they going to have 3 and out or not? And I think the odds for that were actually like 1-6. So it's much better than 4-7. So yeah, I'd say Kelce's a good bet to catch a pass on their team's first drive. Doesn't even have to be the first drive of the game. It has to be just that team's first drive. So yeah, I like Kelce and Pacheco for Chiefs.
Shane, I wanted to give me a price on Noah Gray. There's nothing on there.
It's I've requested Noah Gray though already. It's underneath the octopus bet, Adam on Sky for the first pass. So the best odds you get is Elijah Mitchell 11-2, CH 4-1. Which has got a chance of a dump off. MVS 30-1, Watson 3-1, and then Pacheco 2-1, and then the rest are all even.
I think take the tight ends really, isn't it? Kittle or Kelce for that one. Let's say Paddy Power have that on pretty much every game that's televised. So I wouldn't be surprised if that market's already available on there. But it is one I do have a little nose at. Admittedly, I'm generally terrible at it, but you can get Noah Gray 9-2. There you go. Travis Kelce, 10-11 on Paddy Power.
Oh, there we go. Me and Tim, we'll both bet those. Me and Tim will bet.
We did. Both players to catch a pass on their team's opening drive.
Kelce to have 2 catches, 4-1 is over on Paddy Power.
Ooh, like
you said, if they have the methodical drive. George Kittle 7-4 for the 49ers. He's probably the one I'd go for. Or Debo 6-4. So basically, if you want this market, look at Paddy Power. The odds are far better than Sky Bet.
Yeah.
Because Sky Bet are obviously offering their odds, and then they'll go and put your money on at Paddy Power.
Correct.
Just in case
absolutely how it works. Absolutely how it works. Okay. Any more? We'll run down run down our best bets. No, we're all good. We're all out. Lovely stuff. Okay, best bets. As I say, not really. Oh, we didn't really do touchdown scores. Let's do touchdown scorers. Touchdown scorers, guys. On our best bets, obviously, me and Liam have gone for Pacheco. Adam, you've gone for Rice. Obviously, all San Francisco 49ers there. But I do like Noah Gray at bigger prices. Liam, I think you do as well. And I have been betting Carl Juszczyk in the playoffs for the 49ers as well. He's due. He obviously scored in the fixture a couple of years ago in Miami. Not overly sure it will repeat, but I do fancy something, like a Jawan Jennings or a Blake Bell or someone. I think you can get 40 to 1 for an offensive lineman to score, which I think is worth £2.50 of your money. But Adam, we'll go to you first for touchdown scorers.
Noah Gray was the other one I kind of looked at. I had someone message me on Twitter, and obviously I saw you guys had gone at it. You get 9 to 1 at Paddy Power for him, 10 to 1 at Live Score Bet if you do happen to have a count there.
I've got that.
There you go. Rashee Rice, as I say, like Rice and Kelsey have got 2/3 of the passing work that Mahomes puts out, so I don't mind the 6 to 4 on him. Obviously, Pacheco scored 4 games in a row now, so wouldn't be surprised if it was him. Mecole Hardman, as I said, against not the Ravens, the Bills. He had a couple of end arounds and little bits like that. 16 to 1 anytime at Paddy Power if you fancy a very long shot on him. And yeah, I'd love Juszczyk to score. I like Juszczyk, and he had a couple of touches last week. So yeah, 11 to 1 was the best price.
Oh, he had a carry within the 5, right? And I was on it. The carry within the 5. I was like, come on, got to the 1. I was like,
yeah, 11 to 1 at Live Score Bet, 10 bet, Betfred's 10 to 1. So all around the big odds there. Kadarius Toney, Liam, is 12 to 1. You'll be happy to know.
He won't even be in the stadium.
I've got to decide between the two names of Hardman and Toney, like we always talk about. But yeah, Noah Gray's pretty good. Noah Gray and Juszczyk both 9 to 1 on Paddy Power, but I think Juszczyk's better than that, isn't he, on Sky Bet? I think. I know he's 9 to 1 as well.
I thought Mahomes. Go on.
Yeah, I like those two, but yeah, to the words out of my mouth, Mahomes hasn't scored yet, and he's scored on every other postseason run they've had.
His price is too skinny for me. Though. I don't like his price. Was it 7 to 2 or something?
Yeah, I don't mind him at
4 best price.
He might be one to get on in play, like maybe through the first quarter when they do in play odds, and they get inflated quite quickly. After maybe a couple of drives, maybe he'll get to like 8, 10 to 1 or something.
Yeah, I don't mind him 17 to 1 first touchdown, but yeah, I agree. The odds aren't great, but yeah, same names that you've all said really. Will I do Toney? Will I not? Find out on Sunday when I tweet it out.
Will you get your money back? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't play, I get my money back, which is lovely. But yeah, I don't think that Mitchell's awful odds either for the 49ers if they do have to spell McCaffrey. He's 11 to 1. So
lovely stuff. Okay, as it's the Super Bowl, as we do most years, we have a £100 challenge. Mythical, obviously. Maybe you guys are watching or listening want to do it with £1 or something like that. But yeah, we'll go through our bets here, mine. We'll post these up on our socials as well. I've gone for quite a few reoccurring themes that we've gone throughout the whole playoffs in terms of Rashee Rice over receptions and Christian McCaffrey over on the receiving yards. So they're my two biggest bets. Over 33.5 receiving yards for McCaffrey at Sky. These are all Sky Bet. Over 6.5 receptions for Rice. They're all obviously just shades of odds on. CMC and Travis Kelce both to score a touchdown 2 to 1. That's an enhanced boost on Sky Bet. Gone for £20 on that. And then the bet that I always love to do, it's only because I always feel it happens more than it actually does. But touchdown and field goal for each team in each half, 20 to 1. Octopus, which is a player to score a touchdown and then the same player to have a 2-point conversion on the following play. Bit short at 10 to 1, but kind of game that will happen when you've got players like CMC or Travis Kelce. I feel that they'll lean to. Those stars, and then this was an enhanced. Oh no, it wasn't enhanced. It was enhanced on Sky Bet, but it was still bigger somewhere else. I can't remember where it was, but I think it was Boyle Sports. Chiefs halftime, 49ers full time, 7 to 1 for just something a tiny little bit different. Adam, do you want to run us through yours?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, over 1.5 rush touchdowns for the 49ers. I think you can get 7 to 4 on Sky Bet, but I've put 33 to 20 on here. Purdy over 12.5 rush yards. He's been scrambling a lot over the playoffs. Elijah Mitchell over 25 rush yards is 15 to 1 on Bet365. He's probably going to get a few carries, so I thought it was big odds. Maybe he'll break one. 15 to 1, I thought. May as well have a go. First quarter, as I say, typically they've been quite slow scoring over Super Bowls, but I do think that is kind of changing, and the Chiefs are far better in the first half than they are second half. So over 9.5 first quarter points is 20 to 21. Forgetting how to speak. MVS longest reception over 13.5 yards is 20. I've got 25 quid at 5 to 6 on that one. If he catches a ball, it's probably going to be over 13.5. He'll probably have 3 targets, 2 catches, so that's why I'm going with that one. And then just a couple of 5 quids on Ayuk first touchdown at 10 to 1 and Mecole Hardman first touchdown at 50 to 1, just because I thought the odds were big and I wanted something random.
There we go. Liam, take us through yours.
Yeah, I've gone for Purdy under 31.5 passing attempts. Just because, like we said, we think they're going to run the ball a lot, and his average is, especially games where they're not losing by 3 scores, his average is like 26.25, so I think 31's too many. Gone same as you, Tim, for Rice over 6.5 receptions. I've also gone for Pacheco over 2.5 receptions. He averages 3.5 in the playoffs since he's played for the Chiefs. I've gone last play as well to be a kneel down. Over 68% of games in the Super Bowl end on a kneel down play for the team that are winning, so bet that. And then my last 2, so Chiefs to score 26.5, well, more than 26.5 points is 5 to 2 on Virgin Bet, which is much better odds than you get everywhere else. And Kelsey to attempt to pass is 12 to 1. I got a feeling someone who's not a quarterback will attempt to pass in this game, and he was the most obvious one out of the options they priced up.
There you have it.
That one. Is it
Sky Bet? Yeah.
We will post those on our socials. Just say if you want to keep track or you want to send us a message on how shit we are. Then afterwards, then by all means, please do so. But yeah, enjoy the Super Bowl, Liam. Hope your team win, mate. So as a Dallas fan, we're never going to get there in my lifetime. So especially whilst Jerry Jones will still be alive, because he'll be cryogenically frozen or something.
Yes, mate. I hope we win too, even though Adam disagrees. But I'll take your good luck. It's fine.
You're just disingenuous good luck with a poisoned good luck message. So he's not realised yet that the Bengals are not going to get there anytime soon either, but they've already been
Bengals are there next year. Bengals Packers next year.
Bengals Packers. You heard it here first. There we go. Yeah, enjoy your bets. Obviously, don't bet too much. Lots of stuff to bet on. Please gamble responsibly. Make sure you know what you're betting on, and stay in control and all that kind of stuff. We'll be back in a couple of months to preview the draft. It's been fun, boys, over the year. Thanks to everyone that's been watching, listening over the years, and over the season as well. We'll be back for the draft to give you to win some more keyish. In what's that? End of April? End of April draft.
End of April, yeah. But the odds will be good at the start of April, so we'll probably be back by then. Yeah,
I mean, Caleb, you're not going to get rich on Caleb Williams going 1 overall, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Going to win some quiche. That's going to do it. We'll see you soon, guys. All the best. Take care. See you later.